In today's video, we're continuing to work on exercises that strengthen our pelvic floor to address leaking with exercise. Often when we're leaking with exercise, the pelvic floor gets all the blame, but she's working on a larger team with our diaphragm, that main breathing muscle, and the bigger muscles around our pelvis, aka your hip muscles. So in these exercises today, we're going to be strengthening all of those areas to help the pelvic floor to resolve leaking. So I recommend having a weight nearby and a resistance band. I'm using a 15-pound weight. You want something that has a little bit of weight to it that is comfortable for you. So we're going to start on our back. I'm going to take that band and I am going to wrap it around my feet. I like to create a figure 8 with my resistance band around my feet so it doesn't wiggle around. And then I'm going to take my weight directly up overhead. From here, we're going to begin with our legs in a tabletop position. We're going to inhale to prepare, exhale to reach one leg out long as we hold here. Inhale to bring that knee back in. I'm going to stay moving on the same side. I'm going to inhale, exhale to reach and press. As we continue here, I'm going to point out a few things that I want you to notice. As you inhale, really think about breathing into the back of your rib cage, letting your whole torso expand. As you exhale, think about wrapping your two front hip bones together to connect those lower abdominals and continue that zip all the way up as you reach your leg away. That's going to help you keep your core best connected, inviting your pelvic floor to better support with you as you extend that leg out. You should feel your abdominal group working well for you here, as well as the stationary leg hip flexor. That's right in that front hip crease, working to stabilize the band as we reach our moving leg away. One more time here, exhale to reach. Inhale to bring it back in. I'm going to go ahead and switch sides now, so my right leg is going to stay stationary. I'm going to inhale here, exhale to reach my left leg away. Inhale to come back in. Exhale to reach. Inhale to come back in. As we exhale and reach our moving leg away, be thoughtful that your spine stays long and connected down to the mat. Don't arch your back as you extend that leg away. If you're noticing that happening for you, go ahead and reach your moving leg up at a higher angle. That'll be a more supportive position for you. One more here. Exhale to reach. Inhale to bring it back in. Our next exercise, we're going to put the weight just off to the side here. I'm going to remove my resistance band. And then I'm going to use a chair here to work on my hamstrings. So our hamstrings are a really important muscle on the back side of our thighs that helps to support our pelvis position. This then helps our pelvic floor also to respond better with movement. So from here, you want a little bit more than a 90-degree angle with your knees. My heels are actively pressing down into the bench, and I'm going to inhale to prepare. Exhale to bridge up. Inhale to slowly lower back down. Once again, I'm going to exhale to press up. Inhale to lower back down. Keep moving in this way as I point out a few things. As you exhale, once again, really wrap those two front hip bones first, and then feel that zip of your lower abdominals up towards your rib cage throughout the rest of your exhale. Inhale, breathe into the back of your rib cage, let your entire torso expand, feeling that space get generated throughout your torso and your pelvic floor. As we exhale and press up through the heels, check in that your feet stay neutral, meaning that your toes stay pointing straight up towards the ceiling instead of your feet or your knees opening as you do that. Also be mindful that as you press up, that you're not arching your back. We're pressing through our hamstrings and our glutes instead. One more here. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Bridging up, really feeling all of that good work through the back side of your thighs. Inhale to lower all the way back down. Now we're going to come up into a sitting position on our chair. Take your weight with you, and we're going to go over some squats. So squats are one of my favorite exercises to help to strengthen our pelvic floor and our hip muscles around the pelvis. So take your weight, you're going to hold it here at your chest. Feet are going to be a little bit wider than shoulder distance apart. We're first going to start with just the lean forward. So you're going to inhale as you hinge. Notice that my back is staying long, and notice that you start to ground into your feet here. Exhale to press yourself back up to tall sitting. Inhale to hinge. Notice the loading into the tripods of your feet, big toe, pinky toe to heel. Exhale to come back. As you practice this hinge here, as we lean forward, you should start to feel your glutes, your butt muscles start to engage here, as well as some of my quad muscles and my feet getting ready to press and root into the floor. Exhale. You should feel your glutes help you to come back up to tall sitting. Now we're going to take those up into standing. So you're going to inhale here. Exhale to drive up to standing. Inhale to lower back down. Exhale to come up. Inhale to lower down. Continue moving in this way as I point out a few things. As you inhale, stay connected into that full tripod of your feet, keeping your torso leaning forward until you reach the chair. That's going to help you really use your glutes and your quads all the way through the motion. As we exhale and stand, press through that full tripod up to that tall standing position. Be thoughtful that at the top that we don't overpress the pelvis past your rib cage. That's going to overload the pelvic floor and our low back. We want to finish tall, meaning that my rib cage and pelvis are stacked, and I can feel that equal weight through the tripod of my foot. Once again, we inhale to hinge. Let your knees bend and have them come over your foot. That whole rule of don't let your knees pass your toes, throw that whole thing out. We need our knees to pass over the midfoot of our foot so we can actually load into them, and that helps us to activate through our glutes even better. So once again, we inhale to lower, and we exhale to stand tall. Now we're going to go into lunges, which is my other favorite exercise for our pelvic floor. So here I'm going to use my bench to be able to press my back heel into. If you don't have a bench like I do, feel free to use a wall to do the same thing. I'm going to place my weight on the same side as my front leg, and the distance between my feet is about a stride or a regular step that you would take. From here, we're going to inhale to lower, exhale to stand back up tall. So again, we inhale, exhale to drive up tall. Keep moving in this way as I point out a few things. Notice the tripod of your front foot. I want you to stay rooted through that tripod throughout the entire motion. As we inhale, we're hinging at the hip and we're hinging at the knee and our ankle. Notice that my knee is bending over my front foot, so I feel rooted through my entire foot. And notice that my pelvis is reaching backward towards the wall behind me. Exhale, push through that front leg. My front leg is doing 80% of the supporting of my body weight. The back foot is just there for a little bit of balance. So again, we inhale, exhale, lower, to upper with our abdominal connection. One more, inhale, exhale to drive up. I'm going to switch sides. Now I've got my weight on my right side here to start. Again, we're going to inhale, exhale to drive up. Inhale, exhale. Other piece to note, your two front hip bones are like headlights. You want them to stay pointing straight ahead as you go down and as you come back up. If we're rotating or twisting, that's not going to help us to really stay rooted into our glute of our working leg. So go down through the depth where you can keep your two headlights pointing straight ahead, and as you get stronger, you'll be able to go all the way down over time. One more here. Inhale to lower. Exhale to drive all the way back up. So with all of these exercises, I encourage you to practice these more than one time. I usually like to set a timer and do each for about a minute so that you can work on the mechanics, work on your breathing, and continue to build more strength over time. So I hope you guys found these exercises helpful. Feel free to drop your questions in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.